In May 2015, a federal judge in New York handed a 32-year-old former physics student a staggering sentence: 2 terms of life in prison plus 40 years with 0 possibility of parole. The court condemned him not for physical violence, but for the creation and operation of several thousand lines of computer code. His name is Ross Ulbricht. Over 2 years, he built and managed the Silk Road, an online marketplace where users could buy and sell anything, entirely free from government oversight. He wanted to engineer a space for absolute, unchecked liberty. The project began as an ideological pursuit of total freedom, but as the site grew, that ideal would face a series of practical and moral challenges that ultimately unraveled it. Growing up in Texas, Ross was an Eagle Scout with a calm, laid-back demeanor. By the time he reached his 20s, he developed strict libertarian beliefs, concluding that state control and internet surveillance were direct violations of basic human rights. He set out to build a truly free market. The problem was that standard browsers only index 4% and are highly tracked. To build his marketplace, he had to operate in the deep web, far from standard surveillance. He used 2 foundational tools. The first was the Tor browser, originally developed by the US Navy for secure intelligence communications. Tor routes internet connections through random computers, shedding encrypted layers to erase the user's trail. This network maps onto the second tool, Bitcoin, a decentralized structure where anonymous wallets exchange cash peer-to-peer, bypassing bank traces. Tor provided the invisibility, Bitcoin provided the untraceable economy. By merging these 2 tools, a 26-year-old coding out of a cheap apartment possessed the infrastructure to bypass global law enforcement. The Silk Road launched quietly in early 2011. Ross seeded the marketplace himself, listing a batch of magic mushrooms he grew in a small rental cabin outside Austin. Within months, the platform expanded far beyond a single crop. As users realized they could trade safely in the dark, the site swelled to host over 13,000 listings. It offered high-grade cocaine, heroin, forged passports, and hacking software. The core innovation solving trust among criminals was an automated escrow system. Buyers' Bitcoin was held securely until delivery. Bad dealers were penalized with low ratings. Meanwhile, vendors vacuum-sealed narcotics inside toys, moving thousands of illegal shipments daily through the mail. It was a highly efficient retail operation. A functional customer service interface and a smooth logistics chain proved far more effective for distributing narcotics than an armed street syndicate. By its second year, the Silk Road was processing nearly $100 million in sales. That volume drew the full attention of the federal government, sparking a joint task force between the FBI, the DEA, and the IRS. Operating under constant threat, Ross began to crack under the pressure. To distance his identity from the black market, he adopted a screen name drawn from a movie character, the Dread Pirate Roberts. When a user threatened to release a list of thousands of Silk Road customers to law enforcement unless a ransom was paid, Ross abandoned his peaceful ideals. He transferred $80,000 in Bitcoin to a hitman to have the blackmailer assassinated. He received photographs of a tortured, bloody body as proof of the kill. But the hitman was actually an undercover DEA agent, and the photographs were entirely staged by the government with fake blood. Ross believed the assassination was successful. To preserve the marketplace he had built as a refuge from state authority, he had personally authorized an act of extreme violence. The multi-agency task force didn't break the Silk Road with advanced decryption algorithms. They broke it because of a single human mistake. An IRS investigator manually searching old Google records found a forum post from the very first days of the site. The user was promoting the Silk Road and asking for coding advice. Attached to that account was a personal email address, rossulbricht@gmail.com. Agents tracked him to a quiet neighborhood in San Francisco. On October 1st, 2013, they followed him into a public library, positioning themselves at nearby tables. They needed him to log in to the Silk Road master account so they could secure the unencrypted laptop. As Ross answered a customer service ticket, 2 undercover agents directly behind him staged a loud, aggressive argument. When Ross instinctively turned toward the shouting, a 3rd agent reached across the table, grabbing the open laptop and pulling it from his hands. The world's most sophisticated digital fortress was bypassed entirely. It fell to an abandoned email address and a physical distraction. At trial, the prosecution ensured the jury saw past the image of a mild-mannered student. They introduced his private journals and the chat logs where he ordered the staged assassinations, framing him as a ruthless criminal executive. The strategy worked. The judge delivered a ruling meant to send a chilling message to anyone else operating on the dark web, imposing 2 life sentences plus an additional 40 years. Yet after the trial concluded, an investigation revealed massive corruption inside the government's own ranks. 2 of the lead federal agents who investigated the Silk Road had abused their administrative access to steal hundreds of thousands of dollars in Bitcoin directly from the site's users. Those same agents had created fake accounts to extort Ross for money and sell him inside information about the federal probe. Both were eventually exposed and sent to federal prison. The unregulated environment of the Silk Road was deeply corrosive. The lack of accountability compromised everyone who interacted with it deeply enough, both the man who built it and the federal agents sworn to dismantle it. Locking Ross away did not stop the online drug trade. Ross had inadvertently provided a functional, open-source blueprint. Within months, dozens of competing dark web markets launched, dwarfing the original site in scale. In the decades since his sentencing, a significant movement has grown to reframe his legacy. Groups of libertarian voters and crypto enthusiasts champion him as a symbol of government overreach, pointing to his non-violent history and the severity of his penalty. That movement gained heavy political traction recently. Appealing to crypto voters, Donald Trump publicly promised to commute Ross's sentence and grant him a full pardon, bringing the dark web's creator back to the center of national debate. Today, the digital black market continues to operate without him. The trade protocols he established are now deeply entrenched, fueling an underground economy vastly more sophisticated than the one he managed from his bedroom. Ross Ulbricht engineered a world without rules, discovering that in a space where no one is held accountable, the mechanisms of human empathy and trust eventually dissolve.